Chapter 25. Bad Sector. Day 65. Connection timed out. The city was a grid of hostile nodes. Every camera was an eye, every siren a packet of malicious code. Arthur Vane sat in the back row of a movie theater in Times Square. He had slipped in through a fire exit propped open by a careless employee. The theater was dark, smelling of popcorn butter and sticky soda. On the screen, a superhero was destroying a city with computer-generated explosions. Arthur wasn't watching the movie. He was watching the exit sign. Inventory check. Gabapentin, 6 capsules, 3,600 milligrams. Hydration, critical. Caloric intake, 0. He had consumed 2 more pills an hour ago to combat the rising tide of panic. The buffer was holding, but it was thin. It felt like a sheet of saran wrap stretched over a screaming mouth. He adjusted his position. His suit trousers were stiff with dried street grime. He had discarded the blazer in a trash can 3 blocks back because it made him too identifiable. Now he was just a gaunt man in a soiled dress shirt, shivering in the air conditioning. He closed his eyes. He tried to access the director persona. He tried to summon the memory of the glass office, the 8K monitor, the feeling of optimization. File not found. The memories were corrupted. They felt like they belonged to someone else, a character he had played in a simulation. The only reality was the hunger cramping his stomach and the chemical hum in his blood. Hey! A flashlight beam hit his face. Arthur flinched. The light was blinding. Ticket. It was an usher. A teenager with acne and a vest that was too big. Arthur squinted. I must have misplaced it. You gotta go, buddy. You can't sleep here. Arthur stood up. His legs were numb. The gabapentin caused ataxia, a loss of coordination. He stumbled, catching himself on the seat back. I am leaving, Arthur said. His voice was a slur. Initiating exit protocol. Yeah, whatever. Just go. Arthur walked up the aisle. The superhero on the screen screamed. He walked out into the lobby, then out onto 42nd Street. The sensory assault was immediate. The billboards were screaming light. The tourists were a wall of flesh. Arthur hugged the wall of the building. He was a virus. If he touched the healthy code, he would be detected. He needed water. He saw a half-empty bottle of Dasani sitting on the ledge of a trash can. Someone had just discarded it. Arthur looked at it. Logic gate. Option A. Risk pathogen transmission, herpes, mononucleosis, influenza. Option B. Risk dehydration/renal failure. The choice was efficient. He grabbed the bottle. He unscrewed the cap. He drank the warm, backwash-tainted water. Tasted like life. He kept walking. He found himself drifting downtown. The geography of the city was guiding him, pulling him toward the darker, quieter sectors. He reached Washington Square Park. It was night now. The park was shadows and movement. Arthur sat on a bench near the chess tables. He looked at his hands. They were shaking again. Dosage required. He reached into his pocket for the blister pack. It wasn't there. Panic, cold and sharp, spiked in his chest. He checked the other pocket. Empty. He checked his back pocket. He stood up and frantically patted himself down. He looked like a man on fire. The theater. It must have fallen out when he stumbled. When he caught himself on the seat. He had left the inventory in the theater. No, Arthur whispered. No, no, no. He spun around. He calculated the distance to Times Square. 40 blocks. He started to run. But his body wasn't built for running anymore. He was 120 pounds of atrophy and toxicity. He made it 2 blocks before his legs gave out. He collapsed on the sidewalk near NYU. He tried to get up. He couldn't. The withdrawal wasn't waiting for 6 hours anymore. It was opportunistic. He sensed the weakness. The static returned to his leg. The ants started crawling under his skin. He lay on the concrete. People walked by. They looked at him with the standard New York gaze, a flicker of assessment, a categorization, homeless/junkie/crazy, and then a deletion. He was background noise. "Help," Arthur whispered. A pair of polished leather shoes stopped in front of his face. Arthur looked up. It was a man in a suit. He looked like Arthur used to look. Clean, sharp, optimized. The man looked down at Arthur. He didn't offer a hand. He didn't offer money. He just looked. "You're blocking the path," the man said. Arthur stared at him. It was like looking into a mirror from 6 months ago. "I am the architect," Arthur wheezed. The man stepped over him and kept walking. Arthur watched him go. He realized then that he wasn't a glitch. A glitch implies a temporary error in a functioning system. He was a bad sector, physical damage on the hard drive, and bad sectors cannot be rewritten. They can only be marked unusable and ignored. Arthur rolled onto his side. He curled into a fetal ball. He closed his eyes and waited for the deletion to complete.